Right boys, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode Season 2. We are on the 10th race of the season, out of 20, halfway through the season today at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Make sure you check out the last few videos if you haven't already. The last few episodes of the series have not been doing that well in terms of views and likes. So boys, if you want me to continue this series on YouTube into a third season, I need to see more support on these videos. Hit like, comment, anything that I ask you to comment in the video, and yeah, make sure you just watch the video all the way to the end to boost my chances of the video getting into the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, man, like I say, these videos take a lot of time to put together, so I just need to see more support if I want to, or if you want me to continue this series, you know. We just took a look there at the driver personnel upgrade to boost our second driver's pace. It costs 6 million. We have 12 million in the bank. Really looking forward to getting that upgrade in. I think Nico will do boss for us in that second season once we do get that upgrade, but the contract negotiation period is just around the corner, so I didn't want to spend any money until we get that contract re-signed for Nico. I'm going to assume that we just re-sign Nico. You know, if you've got any ideas in the comments, should we sign somebody else? I feel like it'd be a bit unfair to Nico. He's not done that good for us, you know. He's not even at a podium yet, 10 races into the season. Or will he get one today? Who knows? But like I say, he's not been on the podium yet. His qualifying performances haven't been that good, but the last few races he's shown that he's got pace. You know, and in Hungary as well, he was one of the fastest cars in practice, and then decided to qualify in Q2 on the mediums and got knocked out. If he qualified in Q2 on the softs, I think he would have absolutely been flying. But you can see the absolute pace of our car as we go purple in qualifying here in Sector 1. Sector 1 in thingy in Spa is pretty much just flat out. You know, you have a hairpin at turn 1, and then you're flat out up through Eau Rouge and Radion, then down the Kemmel Straight. And then, like I say, we've gone purple because our car is so fast on the straights. We go a bit dodgy there, lose a bit of time coming through that corner there. Don't even know what I was thinking, hooking that inside curb. We're currently P16 in qualifying. We need a good lap here in Q1, and we're going like 6/10 up on our previous lap, so it's a lot better than our last lap. That was a bit dodgy there. We've run a bit wide on the X. I think we kick up some dust off the grass there, lose some more time, some more traction as we go out wide onto the grass. Touch the grass there again, shaves off about like 1/100th of a second. Heading down the back straight though, like our car is just so fast. Well, it's not really a straight, but it pretty much is because you're flat out through the whole thing. But like I say, our car is so fast through these flat out sections, and as we come through the bus stop chicane, take it quite nicely, get on the throttle as early as possible. Take the shortest front of the line. We go 8.8 tenths quicker than our previous lap. At 141.75 puts us in P12, and let's see where we finish at the end of Q1. Nico Rosberg in P2. Like I just said, he's shown immense pace recently. We do manage to qualify through to Q2 just about by the skin of our teeth. We qualify in P15 there, so hopefully we can improve on that in the next session, because if we don't, then we will be out of Q2 because P15 is not good enough. Max Verstappen there in the top left, as you can see, trying to qualify on the medium tyres. So maybe that'll work out for him. Who knows? Hopefully Nico doesn't try and qualify on the mediums again and absolutely bottle it. We have to lift off a little through Eau Rouge there. I could feel the back end going out, so we have to correct that a little. So we've gone slower. You see the delta in the red as we head towards the end of the Kemmel Straight, braking as late as possible. You can really unsettle the car there on those curbs, which we almost did, but we managed to catch it. And now we're 1/10 down. So I was just like, you know what, I'm going to keep pushing, because Spa is such a big track and such a long lap. You don't really have that many times to put, or that many, you don't have much time in the session, sorry, to put that many laps in qualifying. So I just thought, you know what, like even if we mess up here, I've got to stay out and try and pick up time somewhere. And we have picked up that time right here, as you can see. A lot smoother through that section. Still not the best, you know. I feel like my qualifying performances this season, all the way from Bahrain at the start, my qualifying performances in this car have been absolutely terrible. There's not been a single track, I don't think, where I've set a quali lap and thought, yeah, that was a lap. You know what I mean? But with 5/10 up on this lap here, we're currently P15 ahead of Sebastian Vettel. We need to try and improve as much as we can on this 5/10, because like I say, this will be one of our final laps that we can get done in this qualifying session. Through the bus stop chicane now, We go a bit slow on entry. Our minimum speed was probably a bit low there. With 6/10 up as we cross the line now. It's going to be a 141.17. That puts us P5 currently, but everyone else is going to have another chance to set a lap. And we've qualified in P9 on these soft tyres, which we did batter. We did a few laps on those soft tyres. Nico Rosberg P6 though. So Nico is obviously through to the next qualifying session as well. And he didn't try and go on the mediums like he did in Hungary, which is massive for us. So let's get into qualifying 3. I think this is our first lap of the session. It is indeed. The weather came in later on in this session. We go deep. We missed the apex there of the first hairpin, so we're going to lose a bit of time. You can sort of take a deeper line to that because you get a better exit out onto the straight, and you can carry more speed up. So you can sort of do that, I guess. But, you know, it's not my preferred line to go through turn 1 like that, how we've just done it there. So down the Kemmel straight now. And like I say, yeah, the weather started to come in. It went very cloudy and overcast. Looked like it was going to rain. The track temperature dropped a lot. So this is going to be our only chance to set the best possible lap while the sun is still out. So we need to make sure that there's no mistakes on this lap right here. We get it round nicely there. Bounce off the curb a little. Very easy to unsettle the car if you ride that inside curb like we've just done there. So we managed to keep it within the track, which is nice. Down to 7th gear, back up into 8th for the next apex, and then we are flying. This does feel like a good lap, at least while I was in the driver's seat. Down to 4th gear here. Need to bring it all the way to the right, so then you can bring it straight back to the left. Very difficult sector of the track for me. I do find this bit here, and we run wide into the grass there. That's going to cost us a bit of time on this lap, kicking up some dust there from the grass, which isn't good. But now we head down the back straight, or whatever this you want to call it, bro. It's flat out. You've got a little kink here, but it is pretty much flat out. Blanchiment, I think it's called, a little kink there. But yeah, anyway, into the chicane, and we cross the line, and it's going to be Nico Rosberg fastest lap of the race, or of the session, sorry, with a 140 flat. I think he set ridiculous time from Nico. We set a 141.29, puts us P5 currently, and at the end of the session, it's going to put us P10. Nico Rosberg qualifies in P5, just Lando Norris ahead of him by 1/10. Valtteri Bottas ahead by 1/10, and then Lewis ahead by 2, and Max ahead by 2. Now let's get into the race.
Welcome along then to the Belgian Grand Prix, the race that gave us the maiden victory for the Jordan team in 1998. And in the same team, the phenomenal debut of a young Michael Schumacher. There's always something special around one of the many corners of this fan favourite circuit. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's discuss Red Bull. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Norris, Nico Rosberg and Ricciardo, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, Fiona Driver, Ocon, Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Vettel, George Russell and Mick Schumacher, Giovinazzi, Latifi, Mazepin and Daniel Ticktum. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, boys, let's take a look at the strategy. You see at the top of the screen, the session forecast. It's going to be rain later on in the session. It looks to be just light rain though, and then it will go back into dry conditions. So we decided to go with the one-stop strategy, start on the soft tyres that we did finish Q2 in, of course. which we're a little bit battered, but we're going to try and drag them out for 6 laps and then go into the hard tyres on the one-stop strategy here in Spa-Francorchamps. It's 5 red lights and it is lights out and away we go. We get off to a great start compared to Charles Leclerc in front of us, so does Sergio Perez, and we have a clear line down the inside. We're going to full send it down the inside of so many cars there. We dropped the car into neutral by accident, and there's going to be a bit of chaos through turn 1 there with the 2 Ferraris, Sainz and Leclerc, making a collision, and I think we caused that collision. We dropped the car into neutral by accident through turn 1 because we were downshifting that much. We put the car in neutral, and so I lost it a little. It got a bit unsettled. But we go ahead and make up a good few places there. We can see a replay now of the 2 Ferraris tangling there. Maybe a bit of contact to the front wing of Charles Leclerc. Hopefully for Leclerc's race, he doesn't have to come in and change that. Let's just get a replay of the whole start there. Nico Rosberg off to a great start as well. He's up into P4, making up a place on Lando Norris's McLaren there. Great start from Nico. Great start from us as well off the line. Just absolutely flew past Leclerc, and then we full send it down the inside on Sergio Perez, and we make up another place on Perez. We're up into P7 off the start. We made up 3 places there off the start. I don't know who else we also took over. Nicholas Latifi though is just behind Sergio Perez in P9 with Lance Stroll in P10, and Sainz and Leclerc have dropped back to P11 and P13. So stinker from the Ferraris. Hopefully they can make up places again, and now Nico in front, as you can see, trying to catch, I believe it's Valtteri Bottas in P3. Currently, Nico's trying to catch him, and then the 2 McLarens are pretty much right on his gearbox there, right behind him, as we jump onto the grass there. You know, after doing qualifying, boys, and then going straight into the race, it feels mad to have so much fuel in the car. It literally feels like you're driving a completely different car. But we're trying to keep Sergio Perez behind us, and we're not going to be able to do that for long as Perez goes down the inside there. He's showing way too much space. Sergio Perez, the man who just got P3 in the Grand Prix at the weekend in Turkey, just gone, which was just yesterday. And now we're trying to stay within Perez's DRS range as we cross the line for lap 2. Obviously, DRS gets enabled at the end of lap 2, so hopefully we can stay within DRS range of Sergio Perez. We know we have pace through sector 1 of this track, because of our car being so fast, so hopefully we can just tuck into the slipstream and use some battery down this straight, and then that will be able to drag us along through the whole lap and keep us within DRS range. And as you can see here, the closing speed of this car, and especially when we have a slipstream from Perez, he defends very well though, pulls over there and cuts off any chance of us making a move on him. We try and send one there, but it just doesn't really work out, and then that's going to cost us massively, taking that compromised line there to try and overtake Perez. That is going to cost us massively, because now Perez, as you can see, lap 6 now, Sergio Perez got 6 seconds ahead of us. He did increase that gap to 3 seconds, and then Lance Stroll was behind us by 3 seconds, but now the gap is 6.5 seconds to Perez and 1.2
Radar suggests
to
some
Stroll.
weather is going to hit in around 5 minutes time, so stay on your toes.
So we do box because the tyres completely fell off there, lap 6, and we get a call from Jeff to say weather's going to hit in 5 minutes time. So in the bottom right, as you can see, real quick, as we are in the pit lane, I jump on the radio and tell the team, look, let's change it to a 2-stop strategy. I don't want the hards, put me on mediums, and we change our front wing, and this really confused me, boys. Like, I got really confused by this. I don't know if that incident at turn 1 on lap 1 caused some damage to the front wing, but honestly, watching through the footage, when we got behind Perez, nothing happened. So obviously we were just driving and there was nobody in front of us. Perez just increased the gap. So I have no idea where we picked up front wing damage from. So we've come into the pits and that's ruined our race at the minute. And now Carlos Sainz has came out of the pits ahead of us after we made up all those places in obviously the start of the race. Sainz is going to come out ahead of us now, and we almost lose the car through Eau Rouge there. But like I say, yeah, that we were in P7, was it? Or P8 just before we boxed, and now we're down in P10 because of obviously that front wing change. But now we're going to have a look on Carlos Sainz at the end of the Kemmel Straight, and we're going to send it on Sainz and make the move there. Very nice indeed. You can see little drops of rain here and there coming in on the screen at certain places. You can just see it on the screen now. It's really starting to pick up. So this rain is looking like it's coming in, and I wanted to go into the medium tyres and not the hards. You can see the rain on the camera now. I wanted to go on the mediums. The reason why I changed from the hards in the pit lane, I thought if it goes to wet conditions and we have to box for inters, the little stint that we have before we have to box for inters, because Jeff said the rain was going to be in 5 minutes, so that little stint that we have on the dry tyres before we box for inters. I'd rather be on medium tyres for that than on hard tyres. So my thinking was we go on to the mediums, but then that would make it a two-stop strategy regardless, even if we went into the hards, because we were going on to inters. But enough talking about tyres. End of the Kemmel Straight. We make a move on Lance Stroll there. Can we make the move stick? As we come around, Lance Stroll, he's trying to send it back. He's not going to give up that position easily. He's not going to concede to us. It's wheel-to-wheel racing with Lance Stroll. Absolutely great battle with Stroll here as we go into the downhill braking zone. Stroll actually goes in front, but we get more traction around the outside. Or do we? Who's going to come out in front here? This is great racing. And we have the inside line for this next corner. And we actually make the pass there. And Carlos Sainz making a pass on Lance Stroll, who runs wide on the corner. Now Sainz is sending one on us. And Sainz is looking to make an overtake. What a battle this is. This is great racing right here. We'll see an onboard replay of that. Stroll moves over a little, but we're going to have him with ease. We go a bit deep into the braking zone there, which allows Stroll to try and eye up and move back. We give him a lot of space on the inside. Great racing from the two of us here. And as we go into the downhill braking zone, Stroll is going to have the inside, but we get the outside line here. And surprisingly, just catapult ourselves round. A lot more grip on the outside there than I expected it to be. And we make that move and stick in front of Stroll. But now Sainz is coming back. And as you can see, Sainz with the inside, we give Sainz a lot of space as well, but we actually run wide, trying to give Sainz enough space there to not make any contact with us. But we are going to make it stick, and we are going to be in front of Carlos Sainz, at least for this lap. And I'm just relying now on the race control to disable DRS. You can see the rain on the screen. You can see how dull it just looks here in Belgium, and I'm hoping there's going to be heavy rain right in front of us now. You can see a massive rain cloud, and I'm just hoping.
The track conditions aren't improving. It's your choice as to whether you want to fit the wets next time you come in.
Yeah, like I say, I'm hoping race control will disable DRS because it's going to get too wet. And Jeff just hopped on the radio there and said to us, you know, it's your choice whether to box for inters because the track conditions are not improving. But as we come through Sector 3 now, there's going to be a wheel-to-wheel battle with Carlos Sainz because we've ran wide on the corner there, heading into this back straight. We're going to have so much more straight line speed than the Ferrari though, so we're going to make that move stick. Maybe a bit of contact there at the very start of that move before the camera angle did change. I think we did make a bit of contact with Carlos coming back onto the track, and Nico Rosberg has come out of the pits just in front of us on medium tyres, and this is going to be our box lap as well, or in lap I should say, sorry, for our next set of tyres. And Nico's came out on medium tyres, so clearly Nico does not think it is wet enough for intermediate tyres. So we're going to trust our teammate and probably follow the same strategy. But you can see we're having to lift a little up Eau Rouge now. It's getting a bit slippery up there. And we do come into the pits on lap 15 for a set of medium tyres. And we get a front wing change yet again. And like I say, it might have been that contact with Sainz on the back straight as you've just seen a minute ago. But I don't think that. I think that was more a wheel-to-wheel bump than any front wing damage, you know. So that's 2 front wing changes in this race, which has cost us what, like 10 seconds in the race, which is absolutely massive. We come out now in P20, Carlos Sainz just ahead of us. Now Carlos Sainz is flying ahead. He's overtook the 2 Williams, and we just can't seem to close the gap, boys. You know, we've got 2 Williams in front, but Valtteri Bottas is out of the session. Hopefully this might bring out a safety car, you know. That would be absolutely massive for us, to bring the pack close together again. Bring out a safety car, and then we can make something happen from there. But Valtteri pulls over to the side of the road there, and it's not going to cause a safety car, boys. But at the end of lap 19 now, you can see we're heading into the bus stop chicane. You can see just how wet the track has actually gone. And it does start to look like an intermediate track, but nobody does box for inters. Everyone stays out, and I just can't believe the front wing change, boys. Like, it really felt so weird. We could have sent one down the inside on Schumacher there. We bump him on the back a little because he's so slow, but I wanted to stay behind Schumacher as we get into the Kemmel Straight because I wanted DRS down the Kemmel Straight. You can see it's raining, see the track is so wet. And we nearly lose the car through Eau Rouge and Radion there because it is so wet, but DRS is still active, so we know it's not time for intermediate tyres yet, and we're going to take Mick Schumacher with ease there at the end of the Kemmel Straight, just so much faster than that Williams car, of course, with DRS especially as well. Absolutely massive. Now lap 21 of 22, the second to last lap of the race, you can't even see what's going on because the camera is covered in so much rain, but it just wasn't time for intermediate tyres, you know. Even though there's all of this rain, DRS was still active, as you can see. We're down the Kemmel Straight yet again, past George Russell with ease there, like just so easily. And now we're trying to make up 4 seconds on Giovinazzi in front of us with just 2 laps left of the race. Can we do it? Let's find out. Yeah, boys, bad strategy call from me to go on to the 2-stop. But the 2 front wing changes as well, just absolutely crazy to me.
There appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
And now as we get to the end of lap 21, as you can see, we're coming up to the chicane now. Jeff gets on the radio and says there's an issue that they're investigating. Now, if we have to retire on lap 21 of the race, it's going to be lap 22, because we're about to cross the line and it's going to be the final lap of the race. But fortunately, I don't know what Jeff was talking about, but there was no problem. And we managed to finish the race. We're going to cross the line in P17. Absolute stinker of a race for us after starting P10 on the grid, losing 7 places there. We were up into P8 at the end of the first lap. You know, just I don't understand why the front wings got changed. I really looked back in the footage while I was editing this video, and I could not see any reason why we would change a front wing. You know, maybe the second change because of that bump with signs, but still it was more wheel to wheel than anything at the actual front of the car. So very bizarre moment there, especially the first front wing change. That was just very weird to me, because literally we didn't go off the track once. We didn't make any contact with any cars because there was no cars to make contact with in that first stint. So very bizarre moments. Yuki Tsunoda though, picking up driver of the day. Let's see where Nico managed to finish in the race. Obviously we're outside of the points. Hopefully Nico has brought home some good points for us. Daniel Ricciardo finishing in P3, obviously after Bottas retired there. Max Verstappen with another race win now. Absolutely massive for Verstappen and Red Bull in the championship. You know, it's looking less and less likely that we're going to win the championship this year. There was actually one point when I thought we might actually win it this year, but we need Nico to step up and get some big points, and we need my performances to improve as well. But we do have 3 back-to-back wins this year, you know what I mean? Nico doesn't even have 1 podium. Nico Rosberg finishing in P6 even after that retirement. Sergio Perez up from P9 into P4, but Nico does get the fastest lap of the race by a significant amount there, a lot faster than Max Verstappen, 5 tenths quicker than the second fastest lap of the race. So Nico finishing in the top 10 with fastest lap. He gets an extra point for the team. So Nico is going to bring home 9 points, I do believe. Carlos Sainz dropping from P7 into like P15 or something there as well. Here's how that affects the standings. Max Verstappen is now 42 points ahead of us in the driver's standings. It's going to take a miracle to make up 42 points on Max Verstappen. And the gap to Red Bull in the constructors is now 73 points. Like I say, it's going to take a miracle. It's going to take a couple 1-2s with me and Nico. And we're not playing tiki-taka, you get me? Anyway, next race is the Dutch Grand Prix, Max Verstappen's home Grand Prix, of course, in Zandvoort. If you do remember what happened in Season 1 in Zandvoort, we didn't even complete more than 5 corners before our teammate, who was on his way out, Dan Ticktum, decided to take us out on his way out of the team with us. So, we pick up 2 upgrades here in the engine. You know, we'll get them before Russia. Fuel upgrades, I think they were just pointless upgrades really, but we just did it because we had the spare points and we've got nothing else to upgrade. We got a G-Force training upgrade. It's going to boost Nico's focus and racecraft for this race. It is the Netherlands Grand Prix at the Zandvoort circuit. Check it out in the next episode. If you have enjoyed and you do want me to continue this series, make sure you hit like on it, boys, because it does take a while to put these videos together, and it's starting to become a point where I've got to question the worth and whether it's worth the time that I put in. But I do really enjoy making these, and hopefully you enjoy watching them, so let me know by hitting like on the video. I will catch you next time, boys. Subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications so you don't miss an upload. I will catch you next time. Take it easy.